Yes, 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 yes. Namaste. So let's open up the invite there. That idea of yes, yes is about opportunity, like being open to opportunity, looking around, seeing it. I've been doing this series. If you go to my website, the17steps.com, I've been doing this series walking through the book, The Science of Getting Rich. And chapter 5 is interesting because chapter 5 is about this idea that maybe there's some sort of hang up. Some people are born into a hang up, they're raised into a hang up, or they have some sort of hang up by this idea of wanting to get rich, this idea of the money game, of trying to make money with money and become as rich as you can. You can do this. You know, anybody can do it if you understand the millionaire code. Time, you have a certain amount of time, times amount, meaning how much you're putting into this game, times the yield you get equals, a number. It's just an equation, right? The millionaire code. And chapter 5 starts with this idea that is there a deity or is it bad to pursue that? As if somehow pursuing riches is putting something more of making it of more value than, say, something else, say your family or your kids. And it's like, no, it's in connection with, it's because of, it's part of that. Like it is part of life. So as you begin to play this game and understand the rules that attach to money, there are different things, asset classes. There are things that you can take money and put money in. And because of the code, time, the amount you put in, right? The return you get equals that number. But guess what? As you go forward, time becomes more valuable. Meaning time from 5 years ago is way more valuable today. So if you'd have bought a rent house 5 years ago, it is a fuck ton more valuable today, 5 years, after 5 years of appreciation compounded at 5%. Right? So a $100,000 house would have been 105. And then you're taking 105 and times that times 5%, right? And then you're going to get like 111, and they're going to take 111 and times that times 5%. So as you plug along and you get to like 125, 130 in just appreciation in 5 years, that wealth was just fucking created out of the ether. That money came from ether. What? Appreciation. Meaning it's there. Chapter 5 says a seed dropped into the ground springs into activity. And in the act of living, produces 100 more seeds. Meaning a seed planted, right? An acorn seed is what? Super fucking tiny. Goes into the ground, 30 years later, giant fucking tree dropping acorns everywhere. Same with your money. You know what happens to just make up a number, invested in Amazon for 30 years? Or Apple? Or, IBM or Coca-Cola, or just pick a fucking company. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. You know what happens to real estate you purchased 30 years ago today? That time, 30 year ago time is worth more than your time today. Do you get what I'm saying? That concept of time. Time isn't linear, but people see it as right now what it is. No. What you're trying to do is create future valuable time. So when you invest today, every investment, let's say you invested today. It's not tomorrow, it's, guess what? It went into action. It began the process. It started the process of this magical fucking thing called compounding, of appreciation, of growth, or giving you the possibility to such a thing. But it's going to go like this and like this and like this and like this over the years as it goes forward to do the thing that you planted it to do. That's the beautiful thing. And the more certain we are about the asset class, the more we can predict and input numbers into this code. But some things aren't going to be. Like starting a new business could be 10,000x for you. You may come up with a business idea and over the next 3 to 4 years make a shit ton of money. But listen, here's what happens. If you don't learn to play the money game that I talk about investing in stocks, investing in growth stocks, investing in penny stocks, investing in biotech stocks, investing like in land or in real estate and creating businesses and getting your budget right and separating your money into budgets and opening up these brokerage accounts and these buy and hold accounts. If you don't get on that fucking game, if you don't get that game right, you don't ever get to play this magical compounding game, because you're going to go out there and you're going to make money for 3 or 4 years in your business. You're going to have not stored any of it. So fast forward 5 years when your business isn't doing that great, you don't have stored up 5-year time that's now harvested for you, that's now harvesting at 5, 10, 20 times because you never started the process. So when you put money in today, That money today, you're looking at in 7 to 10 years. How much is today's money invested? So in 10 years from now, how much do you wish you would have invested in Bitcoin? How much, if we could go back 5 years ago, would you have put in Bitcoin? Knowing what you know now, how much would you have put in Bitcoin 5 years ago? You said, well, I put it all. I know. How valuable is 5 years in Bitcoin time? How valuable is the other day? Meaning money put in Bitcoin just 2 days ago is already up 6-7%. Money put in Ethereum just 2 and 3 days ago is up 9, 10, 12%. Where's it going to be in 6 years? Well, how much did you put in 2 days ago? You say none. You have literally reverse fucking compounding. So every day that you don't play this game, every day that you're not allocating part of your time, your talent, your treasure to this process of getting rich and building wealth in the form of stored up energy, invested in things, in asset classes, every day that you decide not to participate in this money game that millions of us are playing, guess what? You're not only poorer, you're fucking poor in reverse. You have actual reverse compounding. You are getting pounded into the fucking ground right now. If you don't own assets, guess what? Asset prices are going up. So $1,000 you didn't have is now $1,000 and $9. And then it's $1,000 and $12. And as time goes on, old time becomes more valuable now. So the day today when you don't do shit, or do any investing, you don't do anything, you don't allocate anything to it, you're not thinking on it, you're not practicing it, you're not in it, you're giving it no energy. Guess what? Guess what the value of that day's worth in 10 years? Zippo fucking nothing. Think on that for a second. So when we talk about, man, I wish we could go deep, man. I wish I could take you deeper. When we start talking about the money game, the millionaire code, time times amount times yield equals where you're trying to get, you can influence all three. You get to control time. How? I don't have to let today go by. I don't have to let there in 5 years be no fucking days to harvest from. What I do today decides that. Do you get that? And so every day you're consistent with it, every day that you're about it, every day that you're on it, you're growing richer and richer and richer and richer by just the sheer fucking inertia of your activity. A seed planted in the ground grows at 100 times. That little fucking seed becomes that giant oak tree. Everything in your yard was that way. Every rose bush, every tomato bush, it is the universal principle of fucking life. Life seeks to expand and grow. Money wants to make more money, but then we step in and decide, no, I don't want to do it. I'd rather fucking self-consume it. I don't want any future money. I'm not doing any of that today. And then you do another day, and then another day. And then you not only do days on days on days investing nothing, right? Acquiring nothing, building nothing, expanding nothing. Now, not only that, but you now have built up time that's compounding against you. You're literally going in fucking reverse. So the moment you see this, the moment you get this, you go, wow, okay, I get it now. So if a guy starts the game at say 23, he's doing it. And dude, it could be fucking anything. Anything can be used to get this process. You could be putting $10 a day in Bitcoin. You could be putting $100 a week into the S&P 500. You could be investing in Kathy Wood's ARK fund. I mean, if you're not, you're fucking stupid. Like seriously, if you're not putting money in there, you're stupid. I can't even comprehend it. At this point, when that thing goes on sale, when other people are fearful, you should be greedy. What do you think that means? When other people are fearful, you should be greedy. What do you think that means? That means you buy when it's not cool. That means you buy when other people are puking. That means you buy when other people have fucking given up. Most people are cowards when it comes to investing. They don't get it. Why? They haven't been sitting around studying the money code. They're not looking at different asset classes and studying the history of those asset classes and realizing that fucking logic dictates based on what the economy's doing. They go through different seasons, and some go higher and some go lower. And instead of just realizing that and capitalizing on that, they do the exact fucking opposite. At the bottom, they puke it up. Instead of being a buyer, they become a seller. When I buy, and I use this illustration all the time, when I buy a foreclosure, I'm buying it, he's selling it. We're both buying the same fucking thing. Why is this an opportunity for me to increase the value, put in a renter, and turn this into a beautiful, productive product. But for him, it's a fucking nightmare that he's getting busted out of. And yet it's the same thing. So when you sell your stock at the bottom after this massive sell-off, guess what you're doing? You're giving someone like me a great opportunity. And yet we're both buying the same thing. Think on that. Time, man. What is that? Time. It's the time you bought it versus the time I bought it. Time is the single most important fucking ingredient to getting rich. And you better spiritualize this, bro. You better get what this means. Here's the thing. The adults in your life, they didn't tell you this. Most of the adults in your life are too fucking stupid to understand what I just said. And it's not intellectually. They're intellectually smart. They just don't do it. They just don't do it. Committing an act of fucking treason. They just don't do it. They're just saying, listen, I just want to take all my human energy from my talent, my time, my desire, my effort, and all that it's produced, that currency, whatever they want to pay you in, tokens, fucking fiat, whatever, equity, whatever they want to pay you in. If you own a business, you get paid in that. Guess what? I own rental properties. It pays me in equity. It pays me in cash flow. It pays me in tax deductions. It pays me in appreciation. It pays me 4 different ways. Your job may pay you more than one way. You know, the idea, you're trying to create multiple streams of income. The idea that because you have a job, you can't have a successful real estate business is fucking ludicrous. It takes almost no time, dude. I did that. I worked a job, went to college, I was doing 3 different things, and I started buying houses. And guess what? I was real fucking busy. Those early shitholes that I bought 20 years ago that I could barely afford, that then I was spending almost every day after work, I was buying supplies. I was buying my paint at Walmart. I would never buy my paint at Walmart today. I was buying the cheapest paint I could get. I'm buying those $1 paintbrushes I can throw away. I'm fucking painting right out of the bucket because I'm not buying tools. I'm using t-shirts for fucking rags. Anything I can do to get this house to look okay, to get it up, to get a renter, to get money coming in so I could buy another house. That was it. I knew. Why? I knew the faster I could get 10, the fucking richer I would be. It is simple as that. They didn't even have to be good deals. Why? Because I understood the power of time and compounding and appreciation and inflation as I get to raise rent. Guess what? The mortgage gets paid down, the property appreciates. Even okay deals become great fucking deals in time. A house that you overpaid for 10 years ago is highly fucking profitable today. It's that easy. That's what I'm saying. You could buy bad deals. Any asset in America you bought 10 years ago is probably worth more today. And if it's not, you should probably be buying it. Seriously. What, Amazon, Twitter, Roku, Square? Huh? You don't know them? These are secret? These are secret things? The land in your area, public storage facilities, gas stations, oil stocks, is it a big fucking secret? It's everywhere. The money flow is everywhere. All of the money that you want is in the pockets, purses, wallets, checkbooks, and credit cards of other people. It's everywhere. But you have to go get it. You have to actually actively engage in this game. And as you're out there getting it, doing what you do to make money, selling things, hustling, doing what you guys do, you better be taking that fucking money and investing it. It is the only way to stay on top. If you go look at every rich person, they're going to have failure and then guess what? A blowout, a business that goes down. But why don't they go broke? Because along the way they invest. If you got $2 million in dividend stocks, it's a lot fucking easier to start your next business. You just save up some money. You got money coming in. Right? Now you can work for free. You can grind every day for free. Keeps your overhead low. You get to undercut everyone. You get in there, get business, and then you take your prices higher. Once you get rich, getting richer is easier. Does that make sense? This is why I had to get as much in there as I could, man. I had to get to 10 houses as fast as possible. Why? Because then that allowed me to do every other business easy. Creating money becomes money. Seeds begun to multiply times 10. That's what it means. Because now that you have this money coming in, you don't need to work for it, and you got like $3,000 every month coming in. Other people think, oh, I can quit now. No, I can now take that and double it and triple and quadruple it. And that one seed multiplies times 100. And get going on this today. Don't let another fucking day go by that you're not doing something. Get on there and start investing minimum $10 a day into Bitcoin. Fucking minimum. Minimum into index funds. Minimums into real estate. You got to get on this shit, man. Don't let another day go.